This is Lyon, one of the most beautiful stops on European river cruise, and today we're experiencing it aboard a Viking River Cruise through France. But here's the question, does a river cruise really dock right in the heart of a place like this, the way the brochure promised? And I've been on enough trips to know that sometimes the reality doesn't quite live up to what the brochure promised. So today I want to show you what that actually looks like. This is day 6 of the Viking Lyon and Provence itinerary, and today we're exploring one of the France's most underrated cities. A city rich in history, known for some of the best food in the entire country. A city with layer upon layer of stories that go back over 2,000 years. A city so beautiful, so cultured, so full of life that they actually compare it to Paris. And yes, a city that even has its own version of Eiffel Tower. What we found today honestly surprised me, and I think it might surprise you too. Hi, I'm Oksana with Signature Travel Channel, and if you love discovering beautiful places in Europe and learning what river cruising is really like, make sure to subscribe because I'm sharing this entire journey day by day. We're sailing aboard the Viking longship Hermod from Avignon to Lyon, and I have to tell you right now, Lyon completely stole my heart. Now, we actually arrived in Lyon the night before our full day of exploring. It was dark, it was quiet, and most people on the ship headed straight to dinner and called it a night, which made total sense. But I decided to step off and just started walking. And even in the dark, Lyon was already beautiful. There were swans drifting quietly along the river right near where the ship was docked. City lights reflecting in the water. Everything felt calm and peaceful in a way that bigger cities rarely do at night. If it feels like this at night, the morning is going to be something really special. And it was. The next morning, after breakfast on board, we got ourselves ready for the day. And this is the moment I want to come back to. The promise that River Cruise makes, that you'll dock in the heart of the city. Because the moment we stepped off the Viking longship and onto Lyon, the city was unfolded right in front of us. We stepped off the ship and we were in Lyon. There were joggers running along the river paths, cyclists zooming fast, honestly moving pretty fast, so crossing the street did feel like its own little adventure. Commuters heading to work, parents with strollers out for a morning walk, just people living their everyday life. From the dock, we just had a short walk to where our excursion coaches were already lined up and waiting. Everything was organized, smooth, right on time. Our guided tour began at 9 a.m., a 3-hour exploration of the city, and sitting up a little higher in the coach, looking out the window as we moved through the street, you start to get a feel for the rhythm of the place. The buildings, the bridges, the way the Rhône River curves along everything. The guide explaining what you're looking at, feeling the history, connecting the dots. We were heading up to Fourviere hill first, and that's where things gets to start really interesting. Because this hill, this is where Lyon began. Back in Roman times, over 2,000 years ago, this was the original settlement, the heart of the city before the city even existed as we know it. The Romans chose this elevated position strategically, high above the river's valleys with views in every direction. As we climbed up through the city, we passed what looked like an old stone structure half hidden in the hillside, and it turned out to be actually a Roman theater, still standing, still visible after 2,000 years. And then we arrived at the top, and I honestly was not prepared what was waiting for us, the Basilica of Notre-Dame de Fourviere. Now, I've seen a lot of churches in Europe, a lot. Each one has its own story, its own atmosphere, its own layers of meaning. I find something beautiful in all of them, but this one became my favorite of the entire trip. The basilica was built in the late 800s by the people of Lyon themselves. It was funded through donations from ordinary citizens who wanted to give something back after. The outside is already stunning, but nothing prepares you for walking inside. I tried to film it, but this is one of those places when you realize some things just don't translate through a lens. The basilica is actually 2 churches, one built above the other. The upper church is the one that takes your breath away the moment you step through the doors. 3 massive domes rising above you, light pouring in through stained glass in colors you don't quite have words for, and every single surface, the walls, the vaulted ceiling, and the arches completely covered in intricate glowing mosaics. white marble, pink granite, blue stone, gold, onyx, and along the walls, enormous mosaic panel tell the story of Virgin Mary, weaving her story not just through the church, but through the history of France itself. The colors, deep blues, warm golds, create this atmosphere that almost doesn't feel real, like standing inside a jewel box. I honestly just wanted to sit down in one of those wooden pews and stay for a while, just sit in the quiet and let it sink in. But as most guided tours, time keeps moving, so we took one last look and stepped back out into the sunlight. Maybe next time I'll have the chance to sit longer. After the Basilica, we had a little time just to breathe and take in the views from the top of the hill. And the views from up there, they're incredible. You can see the entire city of Lyon spread out below you. The red rooftops of the old town, the two rivers, the Rhône and Saône winding, and the bridges connecting everywhere, the modern city stretching out beyond. It's a kind of view that puts everything in perspective. You start to understand the shape of Lyon, why it grew the way it did, why those rivers were so important, how the different layers of the city relate to each other. From the hill, we made our way back down to Old Lyon, View Lyon, and the guide started sharing something that changed how I saw the whole city. Because Lyon isn't just one city, it's really three different layers all sitting side by side. The hill we just came from, that's Roman Lyon, where it all began. Below that, along the river, is View Lyon, the Renaissance city, the medieval and 15th and 16th century layers. And across the water, the wider modern city, wide boulevards, grand squares, and pulse of contemporary life. Oh, and this is where I should mention the other reason people compare Lyon to Paris. Standing here on the hill, you'll notice a tall metal structure rising above the rooftops. It's called the Tour Métallique, and it looks quite unmistakably like a similar version of the Eiffel Tower. It was built around the same era by engineers working in similar tradition, and it served as a broadcast antenna for decades. Today, it's a bit quirky local landmark, Lyon's own Eiffel Tower. Lyon is one of the best preserved Renaissance districts in all of Europe. It's not reconstruction, it's not a theme park version of past. These buildings are real and they've been standing for 500 years. And there's a reason they look this way, and it comes down to silk. Lyon was once the silk capital of the world. In the 15th and 16th centuries, Italian merchants brought the silk trade here, and the city became extraordinarily wealthy because of it. Bankers, traders, craftsmen, they all came here. The beautiful buildings in Lyon aren't just homes, they were workplaces, warehouses, merchant headquarters. And hidden inside many of them, and this is the detail that really fascinated me, are those secret passageways. They were used by silk workers to move fabrics through the city without getting them wet in the rain. They connect through courtyards, cut through buildings, link entire streets like a hidden city running underneath the visible one. And today you can still walk through them, some are open to public. You step through an ordinary-looking doorway and suddenly you're in this quiet courtyard connected to a passage that opens out to an entirely different street. After the guided portion, we had some free time to explore Old Lyon on our own. The streets are narrow, slightly winding, lined with buildings. There are charming little restaurants, small cafes tucked into corners, unique souvenir shops that feel genuinely local. It's the kind of place where you don't need a plan, you just walk, turn the corner, and see what you can find. And our guide shared a tip I knew I couldn't leave without following through on. Lyon is famous for a very specific pink dessert called brioche of pralines roses, a rich buttery brioche filled with bright pink pralines, which are roasted almonds coated in caramelized sugar. When it bakes, the pralines melt into bread, creating the sweet, slightly crunchy textures with this gorgeous pink color running through it. It's very specific to Lyon. You won't really find it in anywhere else. So of course, we found a bake, picked some up to bring back to the ship. Absolutely worth it. After the morning excursion, we headed back to the ship for lunch. And then, because Lyon was right there, just steps away, we headed back out on our own. And this is one of the things that make river cruising so special. The ship docked in the center of the city. There was no transfers, no planning, no logistics to figure out. We stepped off and were back in it. That afternoon, we walked along the river, crossed a few bridges, wandered through some quieter streets on the other side. And as we walked, I started thinking more about Lyon's story because this city that has lived through so much, its position made it strategically important from the very beginning. The Romans understood it, so did the merchants and the bankers of the Renaissance. Lyon became a major center for trade fair that attracted commerce from across Europe. Wealth flowed in, innovation followed, but Lyon's history also had a much, much darker chapter. During World War II, the city suffered deeply, and when the German occupation ended in 1944, much of the infrastructure, including many of Lyon's historic bridges, was destroyed as the forces retreated. And yet, the city endured, rebuilt, carried its history forward. Walking through Lyon today, you feel that not loud, not dramatically, but there is a quiet dignity to the city, a sense that it knows what it survived. And then there is the other side of Lyon, the one that draws people here specifically for what's on table. Lyon, often called the culinary capital of France, and in a country where food is already taken very, very seriously, that's saying something. The city has over 20 Michelin star restaurants. Chefs here are celebrated like artists. But the heart of Lyon's food culture isn't actually in the fancy restaurants. It's in bouchons. Bouchons are the traditional local restaurants of Lyon, small, cozy, full of characters. They started as simple places where silk workers would gather after long days of work to eat something warm and hearty. The food was unfussy, honest, and generous, and the tradition is still very much alive. Compared to the formality of Paris, eating in Lyon feels more relaxed, more approachable, more connected to a real daily life. And the value, the quality of what you get for what you pay is remarkable. If there is one city in France where you should skip lunch or dinner on a river cruise ship, it's here. By the end of afternoon, we had walked a lot. We weren't tired in a bad way, more like the deeply satisfied kind of tired. The sun was starting to set, casting this warm, golden light over everything. Locals were heading home, cyclists passing by, people finishing their day the same way they always do, just living their lives. And we slowly made our way back along the river toward the ship. And within just a couple of steps from the riverbank, we're back on board. That's the beauty of this kind of travel. You can be fully in the city, completely immersed in a place as rich and layered as Lyon, and just as easily step back into something familiar, something comfortable, something that's waiting for you. We spent a little time sitting outside by the ship, watching the last of the sunset over the water, then went in for dinner. Later that evening, we ended up in the lounge with live music playing softly in the background. Calm, quiet, perfect end to the day. Some cities you visit once, check them off the list and move on. And then there are cities that get under your skin. Lyon is the second kind. I'm so glad we have another day here because it honestly feels there's still more to discover. More streets to turn down, more corners to pick around, more stories I haven't heard yet. But what I loved most about today, more than Basilica, more than the views, more than even brioche, was how alive Lyon feels. It's not performing for tourists, it's not putting on a show, it's just real life happening all around you, and we got to be part of it for a day. And here are a couple tips that I can share. Take time to explore the city on your own. It really makes a difference. The guided portions gives you the framework, but the wandering is where the magic happens. Be prepared, you will walk a lot. Wear comfortable walking shoes, not slightly uncomfortable shoes you hope will be okay, genuinely comfortable shoes. You will walk more than you think. The old town is cobblestone and uneven in places, and by the end of the day, you will be very grateful for a good footwear. Also dress in layers. When we went out in the morning, it was cool, but midday it warmed up significantly, and by the sunset, it had cooled down again, so having that extra layer really helped. Bring water, a small umbrella just in case, some small change for public restrooms, a power bank for your phone, because you'll be taking a lot of photos and you'll probably be using maps and navigation, and your battery will go faster than you expect. Sunglasses are always helpful. And before you leave the ship, take a quick photo of its dock location and the ship's contact number. It's a small thing, but it gives you peace of mind. I usually carry a small backpack with all these basics, not heavy, just the essentials. Light enough that you forget it's there. And don't overpack the day. Leave room to sit in a cafe for 20 minutes. Leave room to get slightly lost. I'll be sharing more videos on exactly what to pack for a river cruise, what I bring, what I wish I'd left behind, what I always forget and always regret, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel reach more people who love travel and people discover places like Lyon. And if you want to follow this entire journey from Avignon to Lyon day by day aboard the Viking Hermod, every single episode is right here on this channel waiting for you. I'm Oksana with Signature Travel Channel. God bless you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.